right, Sophie King Cool here with Joey from Ovtlier. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing well, man. How about yourself?
Doing okay, man. I'm in New York here too. I see you're in Rochester, so it's different to be on the other side of the fence for a little bit.
I know. I see that. I see that number right there.
So it's being able to go outside is a new feeling.
I hear ya.
So you guys just literally released another single about an hour ago. Is that right?
Literally an hour ago. Yeah.
Congratulations on that, man. I just watched the video before we talked, and it was fucking awesome.
Thank you, dude. Yeah, a lot went into it. The director did a great job of capturing, the dramatic, story we were going for and everything. So we try to make our videos very, bring a lot of focus to certain topics that the news will only do minor coverage on, or like Hollywood editions, I suppose. They kind of just church it up a bit. So, and then it falls at the wayside. But there's a lot of real stuff, and all these stories are from within the band, and it's just crazy. So we try to get very graphic with our stuff, and instead of just releasing the typical band performance in a warehouse and all that fun imagery. So.
Now, how did you guys shoot the video? I mean, was it done prior to quarantine, or were you able to get together during? What happened?
So we've been sitting on this for about a year now. So who we are, we've been sitting on it for a year, so COVID wasn't even present yet. And the storyline was shot separately, probably about a few weeks later after the performance. But we went out to a big open plot of land in Auburn, New York, and shot out there. And yeah, so just kind of in this rock quarry, which was really cool. And then we just built all these like bundles of like, not bundles, but these like log piles, like a bunch of them, and just, got a little pyro handy and set things on fire. So had fun with it.
For a song that was written a year before anything happened, I mean, I'm listening to the lyrics. It's about toxic relationships. I mean, being in quarantine, man, that's all I fucking see is everyone just exploding,
Dude, I was thinking that too, man. And you know what? We're kind of on some shit right now, because I have a song, not that I'm really here to promote that, but there's a song, a few songs from now that we're going to be releasing called Bulletproof, and it's all about governmental, all the corruption and all the fucked up shit that goes on behind closed doors that you don't need to be a conspiracist to really know. You know what I'm saying? Like, or at least believe that it exists. So like, there's a lot of things I've kind of, that I've been writing about that had just natural influence that are, it's weird. During this time, I'm seeing a lot of things that I wrote about like a while ago that are just kind of like coming to fruition. It's very weird, man. Very weird times for sure.
Maybe you're the Notre Dames of rock and roll, man.
Wouldn't that be some shit?
Speaking of weird times and shit, man, like I said, you guys are in Rochester. I'm in Buffalo here, so we're close.
Yeah, man.
Yesterday they made the announcement that you fucking can't have a beer in a bar unless you're ordering food here in New York.
I know. Oh, God.
How is that going to affect shows? I mean, like, at least here, I see a couple of venues that are getting just shit shows of, like, locals and stuff, but the venues that used to have big names are starting to at least try and do something. How's that going to work out if you got to sell a meal to go with that?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I've seen some guys trying to find, not necessarily loopholes, but maybe get on some like catering stuff or food trucks, or actually I just made that food truck shit up. So if anybody ends up doing that, please feed some either feed me or feed some dollar my way for that idea.
Right.
Or I don't know, like pretzels. I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure how like strict they're going to be with any of it, but I've also seen like bars around here, not like venues, but like make jokes saying that they're going to sell peanuts and stuff. So I don't know, man. It's just, I don't know, man. I don't know. I think it's all fucking ridiculous, personally. So
yeah, I mean that's fucking retarded right there for sure.
One of the venues had a show and there's chairs side by side with plexiglass on the stage, and I'm sitting here like, I get it. I get that like, I try to see all angles when I go into anything, and I get that they're trying to do what they can with what they have to work with without dealing with the state breathing down their necks. But it's like a rock and metal show, man. You're losing that intimacy of what makes rock and metal, or shows in general, just so much fun. And it's like, I'm not going to lie, I won't do it. Personally, I won't do it. I don't care how much money you give me. I'm not going to do that, because my favorite thing about getting on stage is the crowd interaction and people you're singing your, music right back at you, right in your face almost. And I'm seeing people in chairs and sets of chairs spaced 6 feet apart. And again, this is not a dog towards the venue or any bands that did it. I get it. But at the same time, I'm like, oh, it just takes the fun out of playing shows or going to shows, in my opinion. So,
well, you're not going to a fucking play, man. You're going to a rock and roll show,
Dude, right? Exactly, man. I'm glad you say it like that, because that's what it is. It's what it's about.
And I'm telling you one thing right now, with that plexiglass in front of the artist, I think you're just provoking the fans to whip shit at that.
You know what? Yeah, honestly, I didn't even think of that, but that would be some shit. So
you remember fucking Roadhouse when they had the band play and they had that fencing, whipped his head and shit?
Yeah, throwing the beer bottles at him. Oh my god!
You can hear some drunken asshole play fucking Freebird and whip their beer at the glass and spit all over.
Great flick.
So, man, as far as touring and shit goes, what do you guys have in mind? I mean, I understand it's probably the question you get asked every fucking day. I'm assuming you have no idea, but like I said, a few places that got some shit going on.
Yeah, so we're remaining optimistic. We're going to be announcing a show August 31st. I guess I could just say it now, but we did take a show. It's not in New York. It's in Richmond, Virginia. We were asked to play a big Halloween show, and it was just going to be a good time with other bands that we're friends with. So the show's going to sell out. It's going to do great. They don't have. I don't know how they're setting it up. I'm not going to lie, but everybody, the bands and the promoters that are handling it, are guaranteeing a packed house, and I don't know. I guess they just must be doing better than we are. So we're going to be doing that. And as far as the new year goes, all the tours that we've had this year are getting postponed for next year. Given everything can go back to somewhat normal, hitting 2021, and then we're working on 2 European tours right now for January, February of 2021, and we're waiting to hear back on which one will be a better offer for us, but that's looking pretty promising right now. I just talked to our agent about that like a few days ago.
I think when you're weighing out European, you got to look at what place is better in case you get stuck over there for a while.
I know. That's true. Yeah, I mean, when I talked to him, he said things are a lot better over there, at least than what the news is portraying. So they're starting to create festivals. They're starting to open festivals. I know Download Fest is back on the map over there. So I'm assuming that they're just much better off than we are.
Speaking of festivals, that Herd Immunity Festival is going on right now, but I haven't seen shit about it. I guess it started yesterday, so it's yesterday.
Oh, yeah. Who's supposed to be on that? I heard about that, but I didn't really pay too close attention.
A lot of the bands canceled right off the bat. I mean, it was supposed to be Nonpoint. They canceled right away. I know Boba Flex stayed on the bill. Alita's Way just got added onto it.
Sure.
I don't know, man. A lot of them got canceled. And they say they were adding out. Those are the only 2 definites that I know that were supposed to show up, and who fucking knows if they did. I didn't see anything on the internet about it.
Right. And you know what, too, man? It's like, it's crazy because I'm hearing, and this is only what I'm hearing, but like, if bands play shows, they're being looked at now as like the new form of like being cold-hearted and you're a piece of shit and all that. Like, that's what I'm hearing. So I don't know if some of these bands are dropping off for whatever reason, but they clearly signed on, especially for something called herd immunity. So you're definitely signing on for the cause of the festival and what it is. And if they're dropping off, I don't know if it's because they're afraid of being looked at a certain way, especially with the cancel culture bullshit of today's society. And so who knows right now? I don't know if we're going to get any sort of comments or snickering bullshit because of what we're going to be doing in October. But again, I mean, these areas, we don't know how they're doing. And quite frankly, I'm a bit of a conspiracist, so I don't know. I just don't fucking know. I'll say that.
Well, it's crazy with that fucking herd immunity shit. They didn't tell the artists what the name of the festival was at first. They said they had a couple ideas. That's why Nonpoint dropped off right off the bat. As soon as they said that herd immunity bullshit, they were like, well, fucking, I'm not getting attached to this.
Oh, no shit. Okay, well, that makes sense then.
But with what you're saying, though, man, it's totally right. You see anybody who plays a show, they're getting shit on by everybody. Like, how dare you do this?
I mean, people don't gotta go, man. People are forgetting about free will and all this other shit. There's some people that don't live in fear. And they're like, oh, well, you're gonna spread it. Well, they're gonna only spread it to people that they surround themselves with, if in fact they are such as that. But dude, there's so much shit coming out, man, about people. Like, I know people personally in Rochester. I know somebody who did not even show up to their test. They missed it. They had to get one for the work, and they got results back in the mail saying they came back positive. They're like, what the fuck are you talking about? I didn't even go. What are you talking about? I think, honestly, man, I'm not saying it doesn't exist, and I don't want anybody spinning my words or baiting me out any bullshit. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the numbers are skewed. There's a flawed system happening right now, and we don't know. And I think it's good to question everything, because right now, nobody knows anything. So when you got the CDC and the WHO reporting one thing, and then next week it's another thing, and then they're contradicting themselves again, clearly they don't know what's going on. So let's just leave room for anything. You know what I'm saying? Let's be open-minded about it, I guess is what I'm trying to say, especially when the professionals don't know what the hell's going on. So that's all I kind of want. I want people to kind of take a step back and not look at everybody as like they're the fucking devil because they want to live their lives a little differently, and maybe they're still being careful while they're going out and doing things. I mean, I'm a general contractor. I was considered essential, I suppose. But even then, I was in the middle of a bathroom when this all hit, actually in Buffalo. And I told my client to go stay with her mom for the remaining week I was there finishing up their bathroom. Now, I already wear a mask anyways because I got to protect my lungs, with all the shit that I'm working around. And then I wear gloves as it is because whatever. I'm trying not to destroy my hands completely. So, I was smart about it. I protected her. I protected myself. I continued on in life. I mean, there's just, there's a lot of argument that could go in so many different ways, but eventually life has to continue on. This is not, something's got to happen, So, I don't fault anybody for wanting to move forward, and I don't fault anybody wanting to stay, in whatever they're finding to be a comfort zone. So, I'm just neutral. That's it. So.
What I think was the hard part here is that all these fucking news outlets out there ain't got shit to report on. You know what I mean? So as soon as anybody does anything, they're going to be like, how dare you? Let me drum up some kind of press. I mean, Great White played a fucking show. They're making a big deal. They had, I don't know, a couple hundred people there. Like, who gives a fuck? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, dude, can we be honest about it for a second? Like, the protests, all the protests that happen, and whether you're for it or against it, that is thousands and thousands and thousands of people, shoulder to shoulder, breathing on each other. I don't care if some are wearing masks. That, I refuse to believe nobody, is walked away from all of that in all of the cities. I've witnessed these. Rochester had a freaking riot. Like, I watched it. It was actually it was like 5 blocks from where I live, actually. My whole main drag where I live off of was all boarded up. So, and a lot of these spots got hit. So, I'm not seeing people wearing masks. People are out doing their thing, man. They're breathing on each other, and that's it, and they're doing their thing. So, they're going to allow that shit, but these governors want to crack down and, you're trying to have gatherings of 5, 10 people, and if now if you're drinking, you must get food. Like, fuck out of here, man. You guys are backwards with the way they're doing things. Sorry, dude. I'm just ranting on all this crap.
No, man, it's cool, you know. We're just shooting the shit here, of course. Fucking get it out, you know. What the fuck?
American hypocrisy, bro. That's what blankets everything I see on the web, on the news. These politicians, I believe, honestly, everybody deserves terms. I believe governors deserve terms, and I believe any progressive thinking individual could get behind that because that's constant change for a state or consistent change for a state. It allows the state to either grow, you know what I'm saying, or at least realize what they like and what they don't like. The president should have one. Everybody else should have one. That's what I think. And, and a lot of these governors, I think abuse their power. I really do. So, um, yeah, so I don't know, man. I hope the world goes back to normal because a lot of my friends aren't as fortunate as me that work in the music industry. They don't have something to fall back on right now. And with businesses, only so many, what are we, 3/4 are back to being open maybe or something now? I don't know what New York is at, but, like there's still a lot of people without work, man. And with that $1,200 stimulus check, again, I'm fine. That's the sad part is I'm fine. So I'm not speaking from a place of bias, but I'm seeing a lot of people hurting around me. And, my mother is one of those people too. So it's like, I'm helping people where I can and trying to hire some friends and keep some people afloat and doing what I can to help people. But I don't know, man. Someone's got to give soon, hopefully.
I do. I know exactly what you're saying. It's fucking crazy out there. I mean, plus the price of everything is going up like
I know.
nuts.
I know. The fucking audacity on that bullshit too. And they're gonna sit here and like but there's limits on everything too. There's limits on how much meat you could purchase or this or that. I mean, I don't know if they're starting to lift some of that stuff too, but it's like, they're I don't know.
Now they're starting that no change bullshit.
Oh, dude, that one I'm getting a fucking kick out of. And they're like, oh, because of COVID. Please, please. You're telling me everybody's like hoarding onto their pennies? What a convenient time now for all this one world bullshit to finally start appearing. And again, man, there's complete conspiracist nuts that are like, oh, lizard people and all that type of stuff. And I'm definitely not there yet, but you know, I mean, there's things, dude, that they've been talking about for a long time, and things are adding up to one world stuff and all of it hitting at a certain point. And now what I'm freaking really getting hooked on, because I don't care about politics, like I don't care what side you're on, left, right. I'm not one of those bands that tries to capitalize on being left wing. And, a lot of these bands do it when deep down, like if you see the text messages of these other bands that are like trying to spew this shit, man, they're all hypocrites, half of them. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, because it's cool, it's trendy to be to the left side right now. So they're taking advantage of the fan base, and because they know, a lot of right wing people are going to still go to their shows. So because they're I don't know if you want to call it because they tolerate or whatever the hell it is, but it's like, dude, come on, man. Like I'm not going to segregate my fan base. I'll never ever do that. I don't care what they believe in, what they identify as, or what they worship. I don't care. Anybody's welcomed at an outlier show, and that's exactly what the definition of an outlier is. You're a person that stands apart from anybody else. You're an individual, and that's what I celebrate, is individual thinking, individual living. So I don't care what you do, who you are, what color, where, I don't give a shit, man. That's what it's about, is loving who you are inside and out and what you believe. But, I don't even know where I was going with that. Sorry, I got passionate for a second.
But no, from what you're saying, man, I'm glad to fucking hear you say that, dude. There's so many bands that are out there that'll say some bullshit, and it's just, why would you just shut the fuck up? I get everyone has their own opinion, but like on certain things, like you're never going to win talking shit about politics or whatever because you're going to get people that are going to hate you, or you're going to get people that are going to love you, but everyone's going to argue. It's a bunch of shit you can't deal with.
Bro, there's two things when some of these artists do this. I believe some of them. Okay, so I'll give credit that some of them, maybe most of them, believe that they really believe what they're saying. One, two, like, but actually not two, but going on that, I believe a lot of them are just doing it because they see it's trendy and it works or not works for other bands, but it's accepted. So they'll capitalize on it. People do this. That's how trends just spark up overnight and everybody wants to hop on that shit. So like, two, the other thing is this tells me how uneducated everybody is about history, about economics, policies, and governmental studies, and like social studies, everything, man. Like, dude, there's all these people in power, man. They're all in bed together. And they create a level of division. You're left, you're right, you're blue, you're red, you're this, you're that. It does not fucking matter because they're all laughing and playing golf at certain points until they become political opponents. You telling me they still don't fucking talk to each other? I don't buy it, man. People in power hang out with other people in power, and that's it. And that's why I say, don't get wrapped up into it, man, because you're hating your neighbor, your American neighbor, even other people. You're like, you're just hating other people for no fucking reason. I don't know, man. I look at politics as like fucking football, man. You're either a Buffalo Bills fan or you're a New England Patriots fan. And at the end of the day, they're all fucking rich and laughing their way to the bank, and then eventually half of them get fucking traded anyway. So it's
Right.
like, I mean, dude, how many politicians switch to the other side? But shit'll dig up on them, 40, 50 years ago, and they're making some racist bullshit comments, and then now all of a sudden they're for this and they're for that. They just want your fucking vote, man. They don't care. They're salesmen, dude. That's all that it is, bro.
Oh, 100%, man. 100% on that.
I don't know, man. I would love to see some unity. I would love to see people to fucking, and again, everybody bitches about the media. Everybody knows that the media is just bullshit source, but yeah, everybody's always commenting on their pages and getting all riled up. It's like, turn that shit off, man. It's noise. It's fucking noise.
It seems that everyone out there right now everyone's being a little cunt, to be honest.
Yeah, man. That's a great way to say it. It's simple.
I mean, you look, everyone's bitching about fucking this or that, or bringing up shit that somebody said fucking 20 years. Why didn't you say something 20 years ago instead of fucking today? You know what I mean?
Right, dude. Right. Yeah, man. It's, I would love to see change. I believe through any negative situation, great change can come about. Maybe that's just me being optimistic or a bit naive, but unfortunately, we as humans, we have the attention span as lab rats, and what we'll do is, we'll get fixed on something for, maybe a couple months or something like that, and then eventually it's the next topic, it's the next topic, it's the next topic, and then we forget what we were arguing about, 6 months ago half the time, and it's just like, and then things always dust settles, things go back to a new normal or the old normal, really. And that's it. And then everybody gets riled up again when there's a new fucking issue. And of course, everything's always, it's coincidental, I will say, that it's always around election time. That's when things like to get a lot riled up. And again, it doesn't matter who it is or what side you're on. That's just history right there. Again, looking at American history. But you got so many bleeding hearts and passionate individuals, which passion is phenomenal. That's what makes the world go round. But people react too impulsively and without educating themselves. And that's all I want is people just to educate, have a conversation with somebody who's different from you. So.
Yeah, man. I agree with you 100%. If people knew more of what they were talking about instead of just running their fucking mouths, I think shit would go a lot smoother.
Yeah, a lot of people, it's funny because I'm friends with all types of people, man, all types. I've never been one to sit with a clique or one tribe. I don't do that shit. I've never been that way. Outliers literally was going to be the name of my record in like 2015, going off of my old band and Youngbloods. And I love the name Outliers so much because when I read that definition, I was like, there is nothing. You ever just kind of look at, it's like, dude, if you could look at one word in the world that best describes yourself. You know what I'm saying? That's how I felt with the word outlier. I'm like, oh my God, there is one word that best describes who I am and how I feel, really, and that's it. And so like people never know where to place me. But the best part is like people can assume all day long, but dude, I'm so fucking dead nuts in the center of everything. I can see all views, and it's like, it doesn't mean I have to agree or disagree. All it means is that I can see. I try to keep a conscious effort of being able to put myself in other people's shoes. That way I can have a conversation with somebody who's maybe complete 180 of me, because I believe conversation is phenomenal, and communication can literally solve so many fucking issues if you speak with, like an open mind and listen with an open heart almost. So, I don't know. I love it, man. I love being a social creature. You know what I'm saying? And talking to all different types of people. I love it.
It's the way to be, man. You know, I mean, you get stuck in one mindset, you ain't fucking doing anything, right?
You ain't growing, that's for sure.
Now, speaking of going back to trying to find a new normal, I really think next month when Sturgis pops off, that's going to be pretty eye-opening as far as the music industry goes.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Well, there's what, like, I don't know, I counted 20 different mid-level bands that are going to be playing within that week at different venues across the street from each other, thousands of people. I mean, if
Right.
people pull that off, I mean, then maybe they're going to be able to start actually doing some more.
Yeah, I mean, like it's the industry being, giving, putting it on the outside because a lot of people have no idea. And like when we go live, a lot of people keep asking us what's happening. Like we don't even know. Our managers don't know. Our agents don't know. Our publicists don't know. Like nobody knows, man. It's just all a fucking guessing game right now. And I think the music industry is the last to know, because it's entertainment. And although everybody loves music, no matter what genre it is. Everybody loves music. This is the escape. You know what I'm saying? For majority of us, on top of books and all other forms of art. But government and everything, they're going to look at it as just, even though I believe it's necessary for one's mental health, and maybe even physical health when it comes to going to shows and shit. It's a perfect release for a lot of people, and but they're going to look at it as, they're going to worry about alcohol first. They're going to worry about all these other things first, and so I think music's going to be the last, or live entertainment's going to be the last to really get sorted out. I think it's the last priority, or one of them.
Well, something needs to be done on that point, though. I mean, as far as musicians go, I mean, you guys ain't making fucking money. People feel entitled to get free music. They ain't buying shit anymore. The only money you make is by going out and going on tour.
Yeah, and you know what, too, man? That's another thing, too. Like, like going so far back, man. I remember being young, and unfortunately, I didn't really have any. I guess I don't. Not that I really saying I have a voice now, but like I definitely didn't have shit when the whole Napster thing was going on with Metallica, and I wish other bands, other artists had stepped up and, backed Metallica or Lars. And it doesn't matter how Lars worded it. I don't care. I can't even remember his verbiage, whether he was crying about it or however anybody wants to say he was bitching about it. But the point is, it came from a good place, from one of the godfathers of a genre. And they knew that this was going to be a life-altering decision for any musician that built a career off of something. And, and here we are. Everybody just accepts these things that are not really for the fucking betterment of anything. Like, I believe there's certain perks to the digital age that we're at, but dude, you're telling me with how much money Spotify fucking makes and the 0.09 cents. I don't even know if I'm giving that much credit. That's probably more credit than what they actually are giving. But like, per a stream, come on, man. It costs, we're literally doing the math. It costs us almost $1,500 just to create a single. So it's like 0.09 cents for one stream. You know how much stream? Like, come on. And then a record. It's like, no wonder why everybody's putting out singles. That's why we put out singles, because it's like we can't. I mean, we go in the studio, we're spending 10, 12, 15 grand. That's on a cheap side of what it costs. And, especially to create a quality product. And, it's like you put it out there, it's like it's almost dead in the water in 2 weeks. So, there's a lot of things that happened because nobody spoke up back in the day about something. And I'm hoping that, you get enough artists together to really hopefully make a change so it can become, it doesn't necessarily need to be a lucrative business, but something that creates longevity out of their favorite artists. So many artists are just dropping like flies, and it's because it's hard to create longevity in things. And you got so much talent out there that deserves to be heard. But, you got these fucking radio airwaves pumping this cookie cutter bullshit music that's just, I mean, I mean, nothing against Imagine Dragons, nothing at all. I'm not one of those guys that talks on another band or any sort of talent, but like, dude, you know, that's rock. That's what's considered rock. I don't know, man. That's just the industry needs to get tipped upside down on its head and then placed back up and see what, you know, figure it out, man. I'm hoping that rock is going to catch a second wind of being like the main genre. I've heard a couple things, and there's a couple things that I've caught wind of this week that the industry's kind of trying to focus on, and I'm hoping that it confirms what I just said. But I mean, dude, these rap songs, these pop songs, they're a dime a dozen, man, and they're not even written by the artist most of the time. Like, you got 5, 6, 7 songwriters on like an Usher song, you know. And again, I'm not discrediting Usher, but it's the guys behind the scenes that are making hits. You know, Diplo and Skrillex, they're writing for Justin Bieber, but you know, everybody's all, you know, Bieber plays drums because it was in his DVD when he was 9 years old. So what?
Yeah, right.
Like, what? So he's got a little bit of talent? Like, come on. Doesn't mean he's a songwriter. It's the guys behind the scenes, man. And you get so many of these ghostwriters or these other writers, and like, they're just, you know, there's a thing to a creative. Each musician, they got like a signature thing that they bring to the table. So that's why a lot of these pop songs, they sound musically, take off the voice, musically, they're a dime a dozen, you know? And that's the same thing. You know, same thing with rap. You know, everyone's like, I love the interviews that are like, you know, do you like rap? And I'm like, yeah, dude, but I sit in like the early 2000s and 90s, like gangster rap. That's what I love, man. I love when dudes were lyricists. You know what I'm saying? And like the beat was just support. Now people love the beat over the lyrics. I mean, you know, I don't know. So
I don't even know what the fuck rappers are saying these days, man. It ain't like back in the day. You pop on Biggie and hear a story. No, it's the same fucking word repeated.
I don't think they know what they're saying, man. I think they pop Xanax and they just slur their way through a song, and that's it.
Well, you know, there's got to be some kind of changes made for you fucking musicians, though, man. There's got to be, fans got to understand, they got to figure out a way to support and give back to you guys. I mean, with touring being who fucking knows when and if, and when it does step back, it's going to be a whole new world. Promoters ain't going to want to pay bands what they used to be getting because they don't know the venue size or the amount of people. You don't know, they don't know how much gets involved. You got to book a fucking bus. You got to pay for people to be there, like as far as your roadies or fucking sound people and production and all this shit that goes involved. And now with routing, who knows where you can play? Maybe this town says you can play. Maybe you can play here, but you got to order fucking some chicken wings to walk in the venue. You know what I mean?
Yep, absolutely. You got a lot of valid, you know, a lot of questions that we all definitely think about ourselves. So, you know, we obviously have no idea, but I think what it really comes down to is the artist engaging with their fans and educating them. Again, I think everything comes down to education. And the more, like, I keep it real with my fans, and when I go live on Instagram or Facebook, I talk to them. I go, do you guys want me to, like, give off this facade that I'm rolling in the Benjis and make it look like, you know, the fake it till you make it shit? Or do you want to see the real raw me? Do you want to hear the uncensored, unscripted version of me? And that's what they all want, man. They want that raw shit. They want to know that I'm struggling with them. You know what I'm saying? And that's where a level of connection is super huge. I mean, that's what I loved about Nirvana, especially early. That's what got me into music, was the raw understanding, you know, Kurt's life and everything, and like his early years, and him sleeping on the streets just to prove a point, you know, like, even when he was starting to make money. So it's kind of like there is a level of, you want to know that they're just like you. And I like telling my fans how much it costs, like on the real numbers, because not for them to give us money or anything, but just so they know that we do this because we love it, not because of fucking financial benefit. Because everybody thinks that a lot of these bands are just making stupid money. Dude, we have to tour more now. And when I say we, I mean musicians. And that's why ticket prices have gone up. Not by the choice of us, but because there's no money being sold in CDs. There's no money, like, you got so much that goes into a live show. All the crew has to get paid. You got your tour managers, you got your booking agents, you got your managers that are getting cuts. The venue's got to get paid, obviously. and all their employees got to get paid. I mean, dude, how are people supposed to pay? You know what I'm saying? We all love music so much. This is the one thing people should really be like, I don't know, man. Music's still very young. You know, we kind of forget that, you know, and it's like, it would be so sad to see it. Not that music would really disappear, but live shows could struggle to a point where, you know, you lose probably, in my opinion, the better part of music. I mean, CDs are great. Listening to music's great. You get to connect with it emotionally, especially when you're driving in your car, no matter what it is. I mean, I love listening to metal when I'm pissed off, like the heaviest Cannibal Corpse freaking song. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love just heavy shit. It's therapeutic, but you know, going to a concert and seeing them or something like that is just even better. So.
Oh, dude, I mean, a concert's the great escape. Regardless of what you have going on in your life, you get that 2 hours of fucking just being in your own head, forgetting everything
Yeah.
around you, and just being in the moment.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I agree with you, man. Yeah, I don't know, dude. All I can do right now is just kind of try to observe, and remain optimistic, and that's really it, you know. And the sooner we can get out there, the better off we'll be. But we're gonna make sure that it's not on some watered down version of a show. And that's not to say we don't want people to be safe, because we do. We want people to be healthy, and you know, if you're healthy, come to our shows. You know, if you're, you know, not feeling well, please stay home. You know, or just catch us on like a live premiere. Maybe we'll work out some like live premieres for every show or something to make it like you're still there. You know, because people have to also think of the betterment of everybody. But a lot of people though, man, you know, we talked about earlier, toxic relationships and domestic abuse. We didn't even talk about it. Like we mentioned that, but that's what's happening behind closed doors now more than ever. And you got people being cooped up with each other, and people are driving each other insane. And there's a lot of things we don't know because everything in the news is fucking COVID. And everything's COVID related. People are, you know, some people aren't even dying from COVID, and just because they tested positive or whatever, or they have the antibodies, it's being marked as COVID. So it's like, you know, how many ODs have there been? That's what I want to know. You know, are people not dying from other things? Like, um, I don't know, you know. So
Oh, I
I want to know. I want to know
know
what's
exactly what you're
happening.
saying.
I just want to know what's happening with people that are having all this downtime and you know, depression, and all the people that routine that keeps them level headed or less in their head, you know, whatever keeps them, you know, going. Um, yeah. So I don't know, man. It's so big to think about, you know.
Oh, it's fucking crazy, dude. You know, especially being in this industry where your life revolves around a certain way and everything's taken back to something different now.
Right.
Now, we were talking earlier, you were going to tell me a story about the name, and I was asking you how to pronounce it because I wasn't sure with that V.
Oh yeah. So branding. So I branded it with a V, because again, I used to be in a band called Youngbloods. We were the third Youngbloods ever to be around. So you had the '60s band that was branded one word as the Youngbloods, or not. You know, Youngbloods was one word. I mean, so they were the Youngbloods. And then you got the rap group that was Youngbloods, one word with a Z, and then we came out copyright as two words. Now you have Youngblood, the rapper. You got Fall Out Boy put out Youngbloods, you know, the record, and you got all sorts of different Young Bloods hanging around. So in a Google search, one just gets completely lost, especially nowadays. So Outlier was, again, it felt so good, but there was the book, The Outliers, and that was the only thing that was out at the time. And we're like, you know what? Let's do some history. I love history. I like the origin of things. So the origin of, you know, some of the alphabet. It's like back in, you know, the Greek alphabet and everything, there was no U, in the alphabet. So the V acted as the vowel U and the harsh sound of the V. So we did it for that. We did it for branding, and like some of our new metal founding fathers, I mean, Korn spelled it with a K, Limp Bizkit, you know, B-I-Z, you know, so, it's all branding, you know what I'm saying? And it just kind of fits the mold of what we're looking to do. our O, the logo of our O, isn't like an Old English O, which was, there was no V during the medieval time, Old English era, and stuff like that. So it kind of all, branding's sake, it all makes sense. And if I got $1 every time somebody thought we were like a German band trying to, enunciate, that, I'd probably be rich and wouldn't have to put out singles. So.
So what's your favorite book? Nah, I'm fucking with you, dude. I mean,
my favorite.
I'm fucking with you only because people ask that how you get your name is such a bullshit question. You know what I mean? It's just like a fucking you go through shit interviews. You hear, how'd you get your name? What's your favorite book? What kind of music influence? You know what I'm saying?
No, dude, I've actually had what's funny is I was talking about that. I've had the past week, the amount of interviews that I've had have been all really good, and I love this one too. This has been just as open and just vibing in conversation and letting it, just pretty much, not taped, but letting it roll and just kind of going from that. And this is where I enjoy interviews the most. So again, I appreciate this, and I'm actually super grateful that you are, that you do your interviews like this. Because some of those questions,
it's fucking bullshit. Nobody wants to hear that shit. You get tired of answering the same question 100 times through, and who gives a fuck, really? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like I gotta literally put those simple answers on like a Word doc and copy and just paste them over, because it's like the amount of times that I had to write those responses are just insane. But I do like explaining how Ovtlier, the name, came to be, because I think it's important, and especially like I knew people were not going to be able to pronounce our name right, and I knew all of that going into it. So I like explaining that. I like giving a little bit of history. I like that there's substance to the name and, why we went that route versus just like, oh, it sounded cool.
No, man, it's cool. No, it's totally cool. I enjoyed the reasoning and why. The only reason I asked when we first started out, I just want to sound like a dickhead saying it wrong. You know what I mean?
Oh, it's all good, man. There's some guys that don't even ask that, and then they'll say it like mid-interview, and I just don't even correct them. Like, okay.
Now, when we first started talking, you said you got another single coming out, Bulletproof. I mean, I understand you just were 2 hours deep now when the last one got released. Do you have any idea when you're going to pump another one out? You're going to let this new one ride?
Yeah, so we just released we re-recorded the first single I had ever released called Buried Me Alive. That got picked up by Octane, Motionless in White. Chris from Motionless in White threw it on his test drive playlist, and it kind of just snowballed into a lot of great radio play on some major FM outlets and Octane, and it kind of prolonged, for good reasoning, obviously, it prolonged the next few releases because we wanted to let Barry get all the spotlight that it really deserves, because that's one of my favorite songs. And I think that is the best representation of Ovtlier as an overall sound. But who we are, we've been sitting on for a long time, as we already talked about. And so we're going to let this one get the attention it deserves. I mean, we've been hyping it long enough. So, AP's got the exclusive for the next 24 hours. So we're just going to funnel traffic to them. And then, eventually we'll give it like a second wind, as far as opening it up on all of our other outlets and letting it ride out. It's just like such a process, dude, because the label wants 7 weeks of prep usually, because they got to funnel it through so many channels, and we got so many people involved behind our releases. We try to do a music video for most of our songs, so we need for that to get ready. So yeah, I mean, we have the next one lined up right now. The music video is being edited. The next single is called All I Need, and then that one is very deep. That kind of gets into a lot of my personal family stuff and my upbringing. And then Bulletproof will be the one right after that. But we have already started mixing it into our live set, so when shows do come around, even if the song's not out yet, they will, still be able to hear how fun it is live. But
that's awesome. That's awesome, man. I mean, I love the music that I've heard so far, and I can't wait to hear more shit come from you guys.
Thank you, dude. I appreciate that.
So you're saying that first track's starting to get a lot of airplay. What was it like tuning yourself in on the radio?
Dude, that was so that was something that I had never like. It's something that I kind of almost like tried to manifest a million times over, and I kind of was like waiting to see how it would happen. We had good hopes. We had, the people at the label, like the people who worked radio for us and everything, they were feeling very optimistic about, radio picking it up. And then Octane was just a matter of, excuse me, it's my car. Uh, the Octane had picked it up out of nowhere. Like Chris promotionless heard it and he goes, dude, this song is great, blah, blah, blah. I got a phone call when we were shooting the music video for All I Need, that next single to come out. And him and JD called me, and Chris was like, hey, dude, sorry that the tour didn't happen, because we were supposed to go out with Motionless in White as well. And he just goes, hopefully this makes you happy, though. I added it to my Octane test drive. And I'm like, dude, unbelievable. And I had the biggest, warmest feeling come over me and super grateful. And I didn't know that it would turn into a takeover playlist to Octane's test drive. And then I saw their Facebook posts, their Instagram, their Twitter posts. Everybody's lit up with Outlier, telling them to play more Outlier. So it was like just this crazy month, and things moved so fast. And then next thing I know, we were on Accelerator, where they played a song like almost, once every couple hours, or maybe even more than that. I don't know. And then we just gained so much traction. And, dude, it was just wild. It was a wild ride, and I made sure to hold on to it and take every single moment of it. And, just again, feel complete gratitude, honestly. And, it was amazing, dude. I can't say it enough. I had a very warm, fulfilling feeling, I guess, is the best way to put it.
That's awesome, man. Good for you.
Thank you. Yeah, it was wild, man. I think I almost got choked up when things started happening, and it started like, because in the industry, and just like with anything, sometimes you get fed so many things, and maybe very, very few of them come to fruition. And when that happened, it was just like, oh my God, it's happening, and it was very exciting to say the least.
It's got to be a little bittersweet, though, I mean, getting all the attention and not being able to fucking perform.
Yeah, you know what, man? Everybody says that and has brought that comment or question to me. And, dude, absolutely. I mean, I would love to be out there and capitalize on it and see all the people, singing the songs and just... I would love to see what it does. You know what I'm saying? I'd love to see, now you're on the radio, I would love to see what that does for you. You know what I'm saying? And see your audience grow even more versus the old school hustle and tour grind and, the slow climb. And, so that was unfortunate. But again, dude, it's kind of out of my hands. It's out of all of our hands. So it's kind of like, what am I going to do? I think I really thought about it most, and me and Chris talked about it a couple times, was when we were supposed to be like on the tour during those months, and him and I were like, dude, we were supposed to be on tour together, and I'm like, I fucking know, man. So it's kind of like we were, it was weighing pretty heavy during those weeks. But
oh, for sure. I mean, you gotta think there's always gonna be the one artist that gets played over the summer. You know what I'm saying? You hear the fucking same song by the beginning, you hear it, you like it, but by August it fucking sucks because it's been played 1,000 times. Whoever that person is this year ain't gonna get to cash in on that fucking feeling. You know what I mean?
I know. Yep. I agree.
One thing you were saying earlier is that you interact a lot with your fans on social media. What's the best way to reach out to you? What are they gonna go? What are they gonna do?
I would say, so we have a very heavy response on Instagram, which is just at Outlier. Twitter is at Outlier Band, and Facebook, obviously, just search Outlier. But I don't know. I mean, anybody, we all respond. We all kind of man each of the sites and, try to respond to everybody quick and interact with everybody. But I'd say Instagram does very well for us. We just kind of, we found that one to be a little more convenient for us.
Now, I'm going to probably edit this part out, but is that your fucking phone number on your Facebook?
Yes, I believe it is. I'm gonna probably have to change that, huh?
Yeah. As I'm pulling up your shit as we're talking, you know what I mean? So,
you know what? Let me take that down, and you can keep that clip in.
All right.
I'm gonna put 8675309 in there though. So
that'll work better for sure.
So Jenny could start getting blown up again. But dude, I gotta take that down, man. I don't know why I fucking slacked on that. I was self-managing between managers for so long, and dude, I've had people from Saudi Arabia call me, like, I had I'm talking like crazy people from like Tennessee. I don't know, without like outing anybody directly. They know who they are if they listen to this, but yeah. So it has worked well, and it's completely backfired in many other ways.
Oh, especially now that you're fucking blowing up, dude. You're gonna, you know what I mean? You're gonna have to start weeding out them calls for sure. This is clicked in my head though. I'm sitting here talking to you about, where you're gonna go, what are you gonna do? I pop up your Facebook right here, and the first thing I see is this phone number. I'm looking at my phone. I'm like, this is the fucking number.
Dude, I'm deleting it right now. I'm so happy you brought that up, man, because every time something happens, I go, I gotta delete my number off there. And then, of course, life and having a couple of businesses. Like, I own a remodeling business. I'm a hairstylist and barber, and I work like 6-7 days a week. So I get back to life, and then all of a sudden I'm like, fuck, I gotta take that off until the next, like, crazy person jumps on it. So.
Yeah, for sure, man. You never know,
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, man, good for you though. Like I said, I'm loving everything that's coming out, and that new track I heard today was fucking amazing. I can't wait to hear the rest of the stuff.
Thank you, dude. Yeah, man, I can't wait to get it out, and I appreciate you checking this track out. If for any reason we get a release date, like for the other stuff, I'll definitely make sure either myself or Shauna, our publicist, reaches out to you and gives you a heads up on it. I would love to do another interview with you. This has been great.
Oh yeah, man, definitely. It was great talking with you. Hopefully, one day I'll get to watch a show that's not from behind plexiglass.
Dude, absolutely, Brett. And I love that you're so close too, man. So, cause, a couple of the guys are from Buffalo. So it's, we try to use Buffalo as a second home, for any home shows. So, hopefully we get one that's, conveniently close and it's not so restricted.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I'm looking forward to it. Love to have a beer with you. Shoot the shit one more time and, see how fucking far you guys blown up since then.
Oh yeah, buddy. That'd be great, man. Thank you.
All right, man. Great talking to you.
You too, buddy. Take care.
See ya.